I've been doing this for so long, I can do a pretty good event without being inspired, but there's a true thing, and that is when I get people to listen to me, I am such a ham bone that I typically get inspired to say something every once in a while real good because I want them to keep listening. I don't know what all the psychological reasons are, but it's true. So at 6:20, I was in bed, very sick. I am having, if you remember the old man stuff, I am having an issue today. And at 6, a little after that, I went, you scheduled a meeting for tonight. You must be there. And I love you guys. Now, that sounds weird, but after I say it enough times, you'll probably get to believe it, which is what we're getting ready to talk about. But I love you guys enough to go, I'm extremely nauseated. I do not want to get out of bed. I don't feel good. To go, I don't care. Wash your face, comb your hair, and get your butt in front of the Zoom and do the best lesson you can, because these are men and women that pay money for you to say something that will help them make money, and you owe them. So here we are. And I'm glad I didn't wear this shirt last night, because Joel and I would have had the same shirt on. And that looked a little weird because we already made a couple of comments about having man crushes on each other. So I'm glad we weren't dressed the same as well. Frank Kern says, tell a big whopping lie enough times and people will believe it. Now, Edward Bernays or still is actually, a very common and known name to people that study advertising. Actually, he was a master of propaganda. And you guys may know or agree that propaganda is advertising. And propaganda is typically done by a government, sometimes just by a big company, sometimes by, if we want to influence others. And propaganda just happens to be, this is the viewpoint of the world, of the situation, that I'm going to tell you this is how it is. Because typically I'm going to benefit if I can get you to believe that. Let me give you an example. You may not like this example. If we have different viewpoints on life, you will not. But do not be easily triggered. We have been set up with propaganda to be easily triggered and to not love each other. And if you do not believe it, if you wear a mask, you will hate those that don't. If you don't wear a mask, you will look at disdain at the idiots that do. And I'm coming from that viewpoint. I'm not making that statement. If you've had a vaccine, if you haven't, if you're black, if you're white, if you voted for Trump, if you voted for Hillary, right? So we get to all of these divisions because it is intentionally being propagandized to us to fall into these belief systems. Now, I'm going to give you a bonus for tonight, and you can watch it. And if you don't believe what I'm saying, this might give a little ray of light, and you might go, that guy, because by the way, you new people, I'm extremely weird. And I don't have to pretend to not be weird because you're here. My weirdness is what got me here. And by weird, what I mean is I'm a critical thinker that likes to think two thoughts ahead, and I'll get on a linear thinking plan and continue to go. And that's how I teach. And that's why our first topic had to be covered so good, which is, if you tell a big enough lie enough times, people will believe it. Did anybody remember that from Hitler? That was his thing. Yeah. So Hitler used, and if anybody thinks, and I'm not going to go into how I don't like Hitler and Hitler bad. I mean, people are very terrified to say anything these days, and it's because of the propaganda. Now, I submit to you that we are going to be influenced and influenced with our email and our Zoom calls and our advertising by use of propaganda or professional sales. Thank you. By the way, anybody that does not have their camera on, we will assume that the FBI is looking for you and you're actively hiding. And I'm not shaming you into turning your camera on. I'm just saying that if somebody can come out here with the hair day I'm having and turn it on, don't be scared. Come make friends. Or not. It's up to you. So Frank Kern says, I'm an astronaut, I'm a lawyer, I'm all of these things. But what he did while he was doing something very important, which is all of you, when you go to my sales page or go to anybody else's, this is what your brain does. Wait, I might buy something. Before you read an email that you know is going to be not, from your buddy, but from somebody else, your brain does say, wait, I might buy something. And you stop because you want to be careful. Now, I hit what I think are very deep subjects. It may be that I'm not very smart and this is just regular thinking, but in the meantime, I think it's freaking genius. And that word is what I started saying about a year ago when I would do something I thought was particularly great. I'd go, that's genius. Do you know that I started getting comments back from people that says, hey, Paul, you're a genius. This is not about me. I'm just the guy in the story. I'm the Aunt Jemima on the pancake bottle. It's not about me. And then people would write support and go, that guy's a genius. Well, the problem is I started believing it. And until I tried to get my wife to believe it by telling her, honey, I'm a genius. Everybody says it. And she's like, I don't care what everybody says, genius, empty the garbage. So it's good to have that alternate viewpoint. So first lesson, figure out your persona. You might be thinking, wait a minute, this is supposed to be about traffic. Oh, it is. If you buy a new, now this will be genius, because I just thought it up. I didn't even know I was going to say it, but watch, and I'll ask you if you agree. And by the way, Brian Rooney, did you get my comments on your video today? Were they okay? Did you get mad at me? No? That was a very good video. I would have bought that if I didn't have it, by the way.
I put a comment in retracting what I said part of
All right.
about the half off. So I fixed that, and it's coming down in a couple of days anyway.
Well, whatever, if it does or if it doesn't. I tried to make my comment so it enhanced the story, but they didn't get let down when they didn't get it. But you did a really good job on that video, by the way. And I appreciate seeing people work. And it figures you'd be out doing that because I know who gets commission checks. And it's the people that are doing work and coming to the live events. All right. And Brian, do you ever buy MrX traffic?
I bought some yesterday, Paul.
Yeah. So I did not know that, you guys. And so that's a pretty scary limb to climb out on a whole group that's here because of your traffic to go, hey, this guy makes sales. Do you ever buy my traffic? So what if he goes, no? Everybody go, well, good. That's good. You don't have to spend any money with you. I will not put a muzzle on it or censor. You're my friends, even though some of you are new friends, some of you are online friends, but you have paid me money to forgive me to help you. Now, all of you don't know that. Some of you think you just paid me money to be in MrX, but I've been doing this 23 years, you guys, and I have had several other jobs that I do, not for money because I like doing them, and my internet pays for them. So what I want for you guys, if you don't have it yet, I want you to make enough money so that you can go do the other things you want that cost money, and you can be self-funding. And how you're going to do that is with good traffic. That's one of the major things. And since this is typically a group that is in a traffic club with me, I want to show you what to do with that traffic, at least the stuff I know. So I started out by saying some of you are smarter, some of you are better looking, some of you make more money, I don't care, other than to say, if you do, crap, teach me something new. In order to be a good teacher, you have to be a great student. And I have learned to be a great student. Tom Bellew, I'm saying his name wrong because I only say it as I hear it in my brain from reading it, but he's on YouTube. And I watch lots of motivation, lots of skill sets. I join lots of masterminds. He said something brilliant. It was this: I always thought I was smart. We all think we're smart. No matter how stupidly we behave or what condition our life is in, we think we're smart. We all think we're smart. And I had read years ago that most bad guys think they're good guys. Al Capone says, I'm a good guy. I was just misunderstood. You're using the misunderstanding excuse pretty significantly there, Al. Mr. Valentine's Day Massacre. Okay. So I will be sharing with you some things that you will get to determine if they fit in your avatar. Are you willing, because you're desperate or because you have low moral values, to lie, cheat, and steal for money? Because if you are, I will share some things with you that you can use and you'll be able to lie, cheat, and steal for money. You will never make as much or go as far as if you instead loved people and wanted to bless them. You may or may not believe that. I think it's true. Was I ever the person that would lie, cheat, and steal for money? This is a super quick how I know this to be true. I was hired out of a computer store by a shark, meaning the guy had a fin sticking out of his back and he had to wear a big suit coat to hide it. He was a used car salesman and he was a womanizer. In other words, I mean, wow. This guy would lie to you about the clothes he was wearing. And if you weren't really good, you'd believe him. And he taught me how to sell used cars. And for a very brief time in history, I thought it was okay to say whatever I needed to say to get somebody to give me money to buy a car. Because then I would go in and I was a hero. And this is traffic. I'm not drifting. It's not about me. I know I say my and me, but I'm just me as an example. I used Brian as an example a moment ago. But my ability to sell evidently is extraordinary. I have always been the very top in sales. And I think it's partially ability, but partially because people look at me and listen to me and they go, I believe that guy. That's what I think, because I've thought a great deal about it. And so for a very brief time, I'm talking about a month or two maybe, but I didn't feel good. I didn't like it. It didn't feel good. The money didn't feel good. So I'm not coming across as a saint. I'm just saying that I had to make a decision in my life way pre-Jesus, way back, that yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna cheat. I'm not gonna steal. My daddy didn't raise me that way. I got his name, and I don't dig it. I'm gonna stand for more than that. So I want to say something to you guys. Do not get desperate if you ever feel it, and say stuff that's not true, because not because you're wonderful, but because it's bad for your business. Often, one moment. Hello, honey. May I tell you something? Yeah. 43 minutes ago, I was in bed, sick as a dog. And I remembered that I had a live Zoom, and look at me. It's true. There's something about, I'm such a freaking ham that if somebody will listen to me, I'm fine. If you find me dead in the yard, get a bunch of people and say, come look, he's dead in the yard. I will sit up like Lazarus. I'm so glad to see. I already told him my professional waitress wasn't working tonight. Do you know what this is? I am talking to my people. They're looking at me right now. We're going to do a professional unboxing. And I'm going to share with you guys an income source that I will be teaching on, not selling, that you will lose your mind over. I'm about making money. I don't know if you guys knew it, but I like it. But I'm about making money by treating people well. And I got to open it in front of you so you'll know it's not fake. Oh, it's not very exciting. Look, you guys. How exciting is this? No, it's not Grandpa's Pampers. It is Hero World. They're kerosene wicks for kerosene lanterns. Do you think there's anything on the freaking internet you cannot sell if you send some traffic to the group of people that want that? I'm telling you, if any of you with dogs want to go, watch this. Now, my little English bulldog baby, they are known to not be health conscious. Excuse me. I know, she's loving. You look at that tail. Oh, there's a guy that's got two Corsicas. I think I'm saying that right. Corsica's here. There's another member that's got a room full of dogs. We got this is the new group. A lot of them are here from Joel. And they're thinking right now, you better tell me something quick about traffic. I have been since we started. Just think back now on all the seeds I've planted. By the way, the thing that I'm going to start teaching, and I'll invite everybody to come. I don't care what it is. I just did an unboxing on this. I got 35 things here because I love to spend money and shop. But do you know that you can, everything you buy, you can be an influencer for it? And you can go, look, I'm going to open it up in front of you. Look, oh my gosh, it's great. Oh, look how, blah, blah, blah. And you can get paid for that. It just gets better and better. Bill Gates once said, I don't quote him much, but the quote he said when before I thought he was the devil's grandson, was, if I stop to pick up a $100 bill, it'll cost me money because the time it takes me to bend over and pick it up, I would have made more than 100. Shane, what is that now? What have we got going? Is it a mutt or is she or he I'm sorry, I can't see well enough. I should with this view know if it's a boy or girl.
It is a mutt.
Well, that's
But he's a great little guy.
he looks like
Duke.
it. He
Name's
wants
Duke.
Duke. Well, Duke wants some attention.
He does. He thinks he's a cat.
That's awesome. By the way, I like all you new people, except the people that didn't turn your camera on, and I don't like you. That's not true. That is not true. By the way, I want y'all to know that Marvin Berman is a professional hitman. He's not a customer. He works on my security team. And if anybody gets out of line, Marvin will come to your house. So if you see him at your door, it's already too late. Just saying. We all have our strengths at ballot. I saw you for the first time last night, Paul Darby. Actually, it was the first time I heard of you. But what rock have you been hiding under? Sorry. I don't care. Hey, I'm not that impressive. I will try to tell people I am, but that's the Frank Kern saying I'm an astronaut, or that's me going, I'm a genius. Y'all pick up on that yet? Do you know how many people that actually think I'm a genius? They'll put it under YouTube. This guy's a genius. They'll send in, this guy's a genius. I say it all the time. Wait. Puppy, you should see all your friends online. It's amazing. I'm coming back, you guys. I'm going to teach you 3 things right now. We're going to do an unboxing. Now, of course, I would put another piece of tape so you could hear it rip off if I was doing a new unboxing. This is amazing. You've never seen anything like, oh, it's not the, yes, it is. It's the library edition. Look at it. Listen, it's shiny. It's a good looking picture. Look, that guy is handsome. What's the name of it? Genius Within. I have spared no expense at getting the rumor started that I was a genius. I even wrote a book. I sell the book. If you want the book free, in other words, the online version, let me put it in here. The Genius Within book.com. So I'm not trying to sell you anything. You can go get the downloadable version for free. Because it's expensive in hardback. It's like 25 bucks, I think, and then softback is anyway. Here's what I think. This is not about internet marketing. It's about productivity. But I buy books that cost money. I have a huge library from men that make a lot of money. I buy books that cost money about health. I buy books that cost money about prepping, shooting, all the stuff, the chicken coop building, all the stuff I like, because I believe if a man or woman puts out a book of their life experience and they're very successful, you darn sure better buy that book. It's called a freaking map. And you don't have to spend 25 years figuring out the map. You just read the book. So now what 3 things? I told you I'd teach you 3 things. What were they? 1, I just worked into the conversation twice more that I was a genius. I just showed you that I wrote a book. And I just sent you to the website that sells the book. 3 things. Now, what you heard was a conversation from a mildly entertaining, probably a little bit weird, kind of fun guy. What the heck's he talking about? I'm talking about selling stuff. Here's why. A lot of people that go see the library edition and they see that website that was designed for attention, interest, desire, conviction, and close, and they buy the book. By the way, I don't make $1 profit. I sell it at cost. Why? Because I'm so desperate to get my book out. No, it's more because I just wanted to tell people, best-selling author. Who said? New York Times? No, I did. It's been said that I'm a genius and a best-selling author. I didn't say who said it, I said it. It's called sales. So now, big shot, smart guy with a book. Who are you? Who are you? Because you want to buy a book from a big shot, smart guy selling books. Often, you may not know it. Now let me teach you. Oh, it's our friend Scott. Yay. You may not know this, but one of the best words, let me preface the best word. And if I forget what I was talking about, somebody go, what's the best word, dude? Freaking lunatic. Humans, I'm going to back up even further. I have studied sales since I was 14 years old. It's who I am. It's what I like. It's what I do. Now, more importantly, I am face down, sold out, love Jesus, learning, because I'm one of the worst, sometimes representatives of Christianity there is, but I'm working on it. I think if you go to heaven, you know, you're supposed to be called up to heaven. I think I'm going in the little bus, like the retard bus. Oh, don't say retard. That's offensive. Don't be triggered. I think I'm going in the little yellow bus to heaven, and I'm going to have my own entrance and like a bib. And I don't care. I'm going. I'm going. Hope to see you there. But I think that something in me loves to talk and loves to communicate. I've been a national sales trainer for 2 Fortune 500 companies, and I killed it. And I could do that for a long time, but I don't, I'm not making it about me. I just wanted to give you the background. And by the way, those things are true. They're not like the genius thing. That's true too. But I studied first sales for years and years and years and years. And I'm a walking encyclopedia on techniques, how to, what works. Next, I studied the brain because it occurred to me, if I can get my brain to work right, I could be better at sales. So I'm going to talk about all those weird things, and some of it's going to be brand new, but I released a course, then we're right back in. I'm going to give you nuts and bolts that you can actually use to sell more before you leave. Here it is. I created a course a few years ago, and I took it off the market. It was too much. I made, I think $66,000 in one day. And it was called Hidden Persuader Marketing. And I hired people I hired people. I put up a website and said, there's a technician level and a user level. Everybody bought technician level. Crap, it was so much money. It was back in the day, they called it big box. The bigger your box and the heavier it was, the more money your course was. And everybody was in a big ego rush to see who could sell the most. I would sell stuff for $2,000 and $3,000 all day long. Because we all did it. And it was, it was like the 80s in America, even though it wasn't the 80s. It was, excess, big houses, cocaine, big parties. That was a segment of our society. I didn't forget the word. So I'm going to share brain stuff and I'm going to share sales stuff. And some of it will be new. And we are all trained at a new idea. We laugh and scoff at before then we get mad at it usually. And later, if we're introduced to it enough, we may come into agreement with it. And if it's being done with propaganda effectively and correctly, we may come into agreement with it. We will, whether passively or aggressively, at some level, we will agree. Typically, it takes this many times before you start thinking, my ideas are your ideas. How many emails do you want to send somebody? I'd say send them 7 and then 7 more for good measure. And then, shoot, if they didn't cancel it, keep sending them. Here's the best idea, the best word I've updated. It's always been because. IBM or Xerox did a big, huge study, many thousands of dollars, and they did what makes sales. The word they came up with, the single greatest thing, was to say the word because. I want you to buy this because. Start using it because it works. Here's how they tested it. It was a Xerox. They had long lines at Xerox. I don't know if you guys remember. I'm talking fast because my old school remembers this. There'd be long lines. You'd sit in there because you had to go copy stuff all the time. You'd get a key or it'd be a counter and you have to copy. So sometimes, we'd be standing in a room if it was a big enough company going, well, what do you do today? Because we'd all be standing around with a big old, I don't need a stack of papers. Yeah, I do. We'd all be standing around whatever we're going to copy, waiting to copy it, but 5 people in front of us. So what do you do today? And the thing was, they found out that if you went in, no matter what you said, if you put because in it, it was like 70% more people would let you cut in front of them in line. Hey, can I cut in front of you, please? Because I've got to get this paper back in 3 minutes. Okay. Because use it in your sales presentation because it works. I just do that so you remember it. Because you need to remember it because it works. What am I doing? I'm putting it in there, baby. You know that thing in the Bible about some seeds planted up, but they didn't have any dirt, or they never got watered, or they never went in the soil. I'll give you something, and then I'll push it down in your ear. Remember that because it works. Because you'll make more money. So, the other word you ask, I don't know if I should tell too much in one session. So 7 times, and my ideas are your ideas. Send an email every day. If you don't believe me, just do it anyway. You will believe me when you get more sales. So who are these people I'm telling you to send emails to every day? You're not going to make, all right. I don't believe you'll ever make enough money to make your wives or husbands or friends happy if you don't build your own personal list. And you need to talk to them just about every freaking day. And you need to do it in a way so they want to keep talking to you. Does that make sense to everybody, what I'm saying? Anybody in violent disagreement? All right. People sign up on your list for one reason, because they have a dream, and maybe you can help with the dream. And if you guys are anything like me, we'll sign up for most webinars and most email lists, but occasionally we'll put in a fake email address because we don't really want more of that in our email box. And we just want to see what's going on. Has anybody ever done that besides me? Yes, I've done it. No, I haven't. Yeah. All right. I'm not from around here, but I still know some of the ways that we act around here. I got so tired my whole life. People go, you ain't from around here, are you? Yeah, I was born and raised here. What are you talking about? Well, you're just weird. Well, you're not. So what have we covered? Whatever you say to people, if they're listening enough, about 7 times is going to be starting to be adopted as their idea, or they're going to be more receptive to believe it. So send people something that says, here's my shtick. It's my shtick. It's who I am. I actually started making money on the internet after a long and painful period of not making money on the internet, and I got really freaking good at it. I mean, stupid good. I made so much money, I thought I was Elvis, and I've wrecked it twice. Because until you learn how to deal with money, you'll be more of who you are. And who I was a lunatic. And if you want to watch somebody not have money, watch a rich lunatic for about 10 minutes, because that money is flowing out of them like it's a fire hose. And no matter how much I'd make, well, I think I'll buy a BMW and maybe a boat. A boat. And just to let you know, there's nothing that will cost you more money than a boat, except a good-looking wife. Just saying. I've had both, got one now. She's very frugal. I did good. So the next thing is email them every day. The next thing is, which was the first thing, you got to have a list. And I'm going to share with you before we go how you're going to get that list if you don't have one. I'm going to share old school and I'll share new school. Those of you that were on with Joel last night realized that Joel, I hope you realized it, Joel makes money. One of the main reasons is because he has a list. I went 6 years without making money. My friends, I was in Aurora, Colorado. My friend, and my desk was pulled right up in front of the window, like if I was looking out my window right here, I'd be working. I'm going to be rich, 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 rich. And my friends on their way to skiing would stand outside my window on a regular basis because I was always at that desk. And they would put their skis down in their bags and they'd do this. And they'd go, he's going to be rich. It was like something on a Bullies TV show. If it had been 10 years later, it would have been televised and everybody would have hated them because they were mean to me. He's going to be rich. They liked me, but it was fun to make fun of me because I was on the internet all the time. I wasn't making a dime on the internet worth any of the time, but I told everybody someday. By the way, it wasn't much longer than that. I started making more than all of them put together. So I felt better. Even when my mother-in-law came and sat down, she flew there and started crying. Why don't you get a real job? My other son-in-laws pay for my daughters to have a house. You live in an apartment. It was rough. You're not more desperate than I've been. You're not. You may think you are, but I could, I'm not going there, but I could tell you stories. So what do? You build a freaking list. You figure out who you are, whether you're a genius, whether you're somebody that loves them. What's your shtick? Now, your shtick can be a made-up thing. You can just be whoever you want to be. There's been a guy that made millions in a couple of weeks called Rich Idiot. And if you're old enough, you probably remember that guy if you've been on the internet for a number of years. Rich jerk. And he was a jerk. And he made millions being mean to people, being a jerk. It was a new shtick. There's lots of sticks. Mine, as I told you, was I love people. I didn't make money for a long time. It was brutal, but I had the dream. And remember earlier, I said a lot of you are smarter, better looking and stuff. There's a couple of things that none of you have on me. You won't beat me at it. And I challenge you to try. Get a better internet than me. What? We all have the same internet as Bill Gates, of Elon Musk, of everybody else. We have the same internet. So guess what? We're car racers and we got the fastest car on the freaking track. Get your head into this. You got the same internet as the richest man or woman in the world on the internet. Ain't nothing better. You got it. How many jobs or careers do you get to go to where they go, hey, welcome to Aerodynamics Jet Propulsion Laboratories. Here's a rocket. A rocket? I thought my first day I was going to get a pen. Welcome, everybody. You got a freaking rocket. Now, something else we covered. Figure out your shtick. I think that if you're honest, you won't get caught in a lie. You won't feel bad. You won't spread negative energy. And people grok it. They just pick Stranger in a Strange World. If anybody's read it, one of the best books ever written. If you grok it, it means I am looking at you. Here's an example. You go to an event, you go, that speaker was one of the best speakers I ever heard. That girl was great. Did you buy it? Nope. Next event. That speaker was kind of weird. I didn't like how they dressed and their hair was sticking up. Did you buy it? Yep. That will happen. Here's why. Because they said something that resonated. It probably had to do with attention, interest, desire, conviction, and close. Can you tell I used to be a Dale Carnegie instructor? Yeah, that's what we did. I did it for years in businessmen's offices. Your email better get their attention. It better create some interest. It better make them want it. It better convince them to buy it from you. 751. How do you get somebody to buy something from you? How do you get them to buy it from you? Let me ask you a question. Do you think when I sell a product, I think to myself, how do I get them to buy it from me? And last time I checked, I'm not the only guy that says how to make money stuff online. But if I didn't tell you, I am a genius and I think up the coolest stuff that I've ever seen. And if somebody would think up cooler stuff than that, I'd buy it from them, which I buy a lot of stuff from a lot of people. So I'm not the only genius. Three more. Pretty soon, y'all are going to go tomorrow and go, man, I went to an event. That guy's a genius. I got a business called the Genius App.com. You may not want to. My shtick is not that I'm a genius. I just like saying it because it makes me giggle. My shtick is, here's my sales stick. Here's who I made up. And by the way, one of the best things you can do with your traffic is to make up your shtick. Sounds it's a bad word. Yeah, not if you don't want it to be. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Because you better be consistent. Don't be off the freaking billboards and something different every day. Come sell me something different every day and watch how quick I unsubscribe. Because if anything you sold worked, you'd be still selling it. Mr. X, almost 15 years old. What? An internet business almost 15 years old? You know why? Because it's freaking, what's the word? Genius. It was a genius idea. I figured out a way with people to get traffic, the people that bought stuff. I mean, they just got done buying it. They had a credit card out 15 minutes ago and they bought something. Guess what? If you can get to them before that credit card goes back in their wallet and they're in the buy mode, oh, I'm making dreams come true. You got a real good shot. That's called the upsell. OTOs. If you have something, give them an OTO. Have you ever, let me give you an example. Mr. X, come join for $9.95. Hey, By the way, you can be a reseller for 63 bucks. It's called an OTO, a one-time offer, an upsell. If you already have your credit card out and you're going, hey, this is really great. You want a hamburger? You want French fries? Did you want your Coke large or small, Mr. Darby? Oh, I'll take a large. Give him another offer. And put a downsell. I never use downsells. Why? Because I don't have time. I'm selling so much stuff and thinking it's so much new stuff. I don't have time to even do the sales process right. Give me downsell. I don't want a Coke. Can I offer you some of our world's famous, finest Texas sweet tea? Well, yeah. Downsell. Try to ching, ching, ching. That's called more sales with the same audience. You got to do one of two things, my friends. You got to get a bigger audience or make more sales. I would say to you, find people that like you and that get to know you, love you, and trust you, and then open the doors. I do what's called, we're getting close. I do what's called, now this is my term, it's not anybody else's, what's called spaghetti marketing. And it's probably from an undisciplined mind because I work all day exactly like what you've just heard for the last 50 minutes. Bing, 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 bing. I keep a goal in mind, and however I get there, all I know is I've just rocked the freaking throttles back, and I don't know if the thing's going to go or what, but I know I'm going from here to here. If you remember when I said we all have the same internet, we should all make the same amount of money. You have to contact your people all the time. First, you have to get people to contact all the time. And I want to share with you how to get them, how to keep them, how to have them ask you how to sell them stuff. And by the way, when I talk about I'm selling stuff to you, I am you. Look, 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 I am you. We're freaking, this is us. Now, we don't have any, as far as I know, because I can't see, we don't have any color here tonight. It's a bunch of white breads. I'm not sure what that's about because I have some brothers and sisters that actually make pretty good money with me. But Bill has his own T1. I used to run an office with my own T1, and it was great for its day. And he probably has that or better, or Starlink from Musk. I'm not a racist. I'll never have to say that to you again because you'll figure it out. Here's where your money's going to come from on the internet unless you niche market to a different group. Old white men. Sorry. Look at me. What color is this? Well, I don't know what color it is, Paul, but it's amazingly similar to that. We would call that white bread. Do I care that I'm white? I wouldn't care if I was freaking clear, except everybody could see what I was thinking about. And who's here? Let's count who we can see. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Patty, you're out. Beverly, you're out. 4. Oh, Debbie, you missed it. 5. Patrick, Marvin. Now, Marvin's got dark hair, and so does Tim. Robert's got, I don't think that's gray hair. Is it, Robert? Is that gray hair or is that just your color hair? It doesn't look gray hair. All right. So here's what I can tell you mostly. I started looking at this when I was paying other people to go to their events, which I would still do, but I more go and speak at them now than I attend them. But I would attend them because if you want to be a great teacher, if you want to be a good teacher, you need to be a great student. Remember when I said Tom Ballou and he said, I thought I was smart. Thought I forgot, didn't you? No, I just caught you on the loop. It means this. He said, the day I figured out I wasn't very smart was the best day of my life because I thought to myself, hey, I can get smart. And then he became a student. And guess what? He got smart. He sold one of his last companies for, was it $1 billion? One of those numbers that we go, excuse me, shit. Told you I wasn't a great representative for Jesus, but sometimes, no other word worked for me. I'm not smarter than that. All right. Be a great student. Make yourself of high value. Learn your craft. That's what you're doing here. I congratulate you. All right. So let me share with you the nuts and bolts. This is what you'll actually do to make money now. Did I tell you all those people stood out there and did that and made fun of me, and then I made more than all of them put together probably because I wanted to impress you, and or that my ego is so delicate, which sometimes it is, that I have to constantly talk about how good I am. It's really not it. I'm just a great example for being a lunatic that made money. And I'm not rolling in it. I am dancing in it. And I want all of you to dance in it too. So here's how you get people. And here's how you make money. And since I only have another 2 or 3 minutes, I will say this. I have done this so many times and never been busted yet. I can say, give me any product, look around your room, any product, pick it out, tell me what it is, and I'll sell it to you. Because it's a formula. So let me use my dog as an example, because we've been all over dog love today. I have an English bulldog. They typically live 8 to 10 years. I get rescues and I get them because I want to save them. I just want to save everything. And I'm hoping to get 14 or 15 years out of her. Why? Because I want her to live longer. And I think that dogs don't live long because primarily of the food that we feed them and the water that we give them. So I've got an ebook for all of you. Watch this. Watch. I've got an ebook. It's one of the best books I've ever seen on dog longevity. And if you want your dog to live longer, its lifespan to be increased up to twice of what you think it is, because go look it up. 15, 20 years ago, dogs lived twice as long as they do now. Look it up. Don't just believe me. And I can show you how to do that. Your dog will be happier, healthier, have more fun, play more, live twice as long. If you want that ebook free, put in the chat, yes, I want it free, or yes, I want it for $1. I want it for $1, Paul. And if you don't want it for $1 and you don't have a dog, then I don't care. But if you know somebody with a dog, say yes or no, please. And we'll just find out if I just sold my ebook that I have so much time in. Yes, yes. Come on, vote. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, we got about 100% buy-in rate. I don't have an ebook. I just made it up. It was true. The story was true, but I didn't write it in the ebook. But what I did was just shared the formula with you. And the second most powerful thing I ever heard before the first powerful word, which is now experts say, remember it, I'm closing as quick as I can. Next is because. The next is one of the most powerful things I ever taught. This was deadly. I studied police interrogation. I studied brain firing off in MRI. I studied stuff you wouldn't believe for years because I'm obsessive, compulsive, obsessive about stuff. Right now, I'm into brain chemicals and how do I be smarter and how do I optimize my brain to get more? How do I increase and reach my goals? I'm into weird stuff. Before that, I was into guns, and I ended up working with teams that you wouldn't believe. Most of you wouldn't believe me. I'm an instructor for the government stuff. You wouldn't believe. You'd go, dude, you're making that up. Before that, it was the gym business. I owned one of the most beautiful gyms, managed gyms worldwide. Blah, 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 blah. Because I get on something and I can't let it go. Right now, I'm on the internet. Catch me while I'm hot. If I can blank, will you? Please write that down. It's old. But just write it down and think of it, or just remember it. If I can, will you? I've seen articles. Good, Tim. Now, let me give you that example. I promise I'm trying to close. If I can show you, let me see who I would look at. I'd look at Patrick or Tim, or I don't remember if Robert showed me dogs or not. Oh, it was Shane. And I said, I just looked right at you and I went, hey, Shane, that dog of yours, I know you said was a mutt, but I heard you have love in your voice. If I could show you how to get that good looking boy to live twice as long, would you be interested in knowing how? What's he going to say? Yeah. That's how you sell. So what we're going to do, since we've had this, and by the way, all the other new people, Joel brought in a butt ton of people. All of them that couldn't come tonight, that means they did not log in and see the live event and make the effort to come. They may get this video, they may not, but I think it was very good because we said a lot of first-time stuff, and I build real fast, you guys. I build precept upon precept, but we had to get the first one. So in closing, to round this out, end this, figure out who you are. My thing is, I love people. I want to help them because when I finally started making money, and I've had this life now, I'm 65, I'm having this life where I make money. I make money. Oh my God, are you freaking kidding? Last night I made a butt ton of money because Joel Theron came on and told all the people his traffic's great. Works for me. Now you guys are going to get into my own marketing brand, which is called spaghetti marketing. Go get your bowl, cook a bunch of spaghetti, dump the spaghetti in there, and every time the noodle touches, that's where I'm going to have a selling proposition for you. I will never do sale-a-thons where I just sell. I'm not that guy. Occasionally, I will introduce you to stuff that you may really like. I will never lie to you on purpose, ever. I'm very trustworthy. You will learn that. I know what my shtick is. That's it. And people see it and they like it and they trust it. Get your shtick. And I email people all the time. So here's what you do. I'll say the most important thing for right now, and you've gotten about 10 good tips, I think, and that is this. Get your own splash page, not tomorrow, but tonight. Or be in a business where you control those leads, and that business is capable of good conversions because you're buying traffic. When you buy traffic from me, it isn't cheap. You're buying at my cost. By the way, that's an insider secret, but I just told you I wouldn't lie to you, and that is true. I will not lie to you. I may make a penny or two occasionally, depending on credit card rates and all that stuff, but it's cost. Why? I make my money on membership fees and on reseller licenses, and resellers do very, very good. So if you join and you're not a reseller, it's 16 bucks a week, 2 people in and you're free, and you can really build up a killer income. Remember, we're 14 something years old. There's a reason for that. Your list is everything. Either make your own splash page that's really good, or get a company that is converting leads and you have access to them. You can look in your back area, you'll see all your leads. You can export them, or I've even built an autoresponder in, so they'll automatically go over there and you can just email them. I've done everything for you. And that, I think, will cover this hour, because you're going to build your list. You're going to figure out who you are, the most effective way you can make your presentation. You're going to email people all the time. You're going to give them a reason to buy from you with your wonderful offers, and you're going to rinse and repeat every day. All right. Thank you, Robert. Thank you. I love your conference room too, by the way. Isn't that amazing about Zoom, how we can do that? All right. I have to show you this. It's Robert's fault. It's like, dude, shut up. I'm like my pastor at church. He never shuts up. I shouldn't say that. That was wrong. I love my pastor. Choose virtual background. All right. I wanted to show you all my house. I did a video and went, that's my bedroom window. Isn't Zoom wonderful? Look. Oh my gosh. Oh, there's my wife. Why am I doing all of this? Because we can. Let me tell you what to do on the way to saying goodnight. Get your website up on your Zoom address. So when you attend somebody's Zoom meeting, you're advertising. Come on, we're all buyers. Advertise to your list. At least put your name up. Something. That was good. It was worth staying late for. I'm leaving. Tell me with a thumbs up. Was it worth coming? Or did it wasn't? How'd we do? Come on, Shane. I can't see. Debbie can't see. Terry, blink. Okay, Shane, did you like it? I can't see. I see thumbs going up. Shane's not going to vote. Shane, if you don't vote, we're all coming to your house. We're going to eat. Yes or no, Shane? Can't see.
Thumbs up.
Thank you. Gosh, I have to
Yep.
work so hard to get somebody to say they like me.
I
Love
can't
you
find
guys.
I can't find the thumb.
That's all right. Well, that's why we do this, because I can't find it either. I appreciate y'all coming. I'm going to try to make them good. And with that, I will say good evening. I love you. Something wonderful is happening, and that's a true story. It's a true story.